right?
All right. So last question, and it, it, so and it could be a long answer, but they may not necessarily.
Second to last question. I got one light.
All right, so I was going to ask a question about the blue wall of silence, but we kind of addressed that. I wanted to get into that more, but let me do it. All right. So a big thing that's going on as in the protests now is the phrase defund the police, right? I have my opinion of what that truly means. But when you hear the phrase defund the police, what does that bring to mind? And after you answer that, it's like a two-part question. What are the things that we need to change in the responsibilities the things that we ask for police to do in our society? What changes do we need to make there? So that's the question.
So initially, when I heard defund, I thought they meant pay them less. Like we're not gonna pay y'all all this money to wreak havoc on the community, which I agree. We should not be being paid to be a disservice to the community, right? So that's what I thought at first. And then I did a little research and I realized what they meant was, like you just mentioned, take away some of the responsibilities. They've given us too much power, basically. And, dumb it down some. And I agree with that. I do agree with that. So officers, and every department is different, but for the most part, most departments are the same, where we answer every single thing that can come to your mind. Police are the first person they call. Oh my God, there's a snake in my pool. 911. And we have to go because we service our community. My child is acting bad. He's not listening to me. We get that all the time.
Wow.
I don't know.
No, you don't have no Caribbean parents.
Anything you can think of, police officers got their hand in it. And then when people say, why you all up in my business? Why you come to my house? Nobody called you. Yes, ma'am. Someone did call me, and that's why I'm here. And so people are like, the police have too much power and their hands are in too much. And I agree with that. But guess what? Stop calling us for everything. Take care of your own business. Make sure you know what I'm saying? Like, if you know that your neighbor is a nosy neighbor and they're going to call every time you raise your voice, then keep your voice down when you're arguing with your husband so we don't get called. Because it never fails. Every time, especially domestic violence calls, when we get called out there, we're automatically the bad guys. Because what are you doing all up in my business? Why are you at my house? Who called you? And it's always the nosy neighbor that calls. And so, yeah, I think that definitely the police should be used for emergency cases only.
Yeah, so I heard one thing before I start doing, and then we'll allow you to go back on your journey. I heard a statistic today from an attorney on TV that said in the United States, every 3 minutes, somebody gets arrested, okay? And out of all those people who get arrested, only 5% of those are for serious crime. You mean like robbery, rape, murder. So we have 95% of bullshit arrests taking place where we're bringing police to situations, person with a gun, something pops off. And so from that perspective alone, when I hear defund, at first I thought it was we're going to abolish the police. No, nobody wants that. But I agree with what you're saying here. We ask police to do too much, right? And then all these situations kind of, if you come in with a preconceived notion of what a criminal may look like, and you show up and somebody tries to pass a fake $20 bill, and then well, he's big, he could take me out, and they kind of escalate from there. So we need to, ask police to do a lot less. And I think that's the most important thing that I believe that we can do, is to take a lot of police plates to get them out of situations, and person with a gun, it's a hostile situation, and then shit goes bad. So that's what I think needs to happen. So
guess what, Chris? When you take it away from the police officer, you have to put that responsibility on someone, and then you end up with the Aubrey situation, rest in peace, where the civilians are now playing cops and robbers, and they're out there doing bad stuff too.
Even if we have a segment of police who don't carry guns, them carry a baton and a stun gun, right? In case something goes bad, right? So if you get a call about a shoplifter, you know, or whatever, yeah, that doesn't necessarily, you know, require, or somebody speeding or whatever. Yeah, that doesn't require somebody to show up on the scene with a gun where somebody
or expired tags.
Or expired tags, you know, not that I would ever do such a thing.
So, like things like that, expired tags, defective equipment, I can see where that should not be a police matter, but definitely speeding, as we know, leads into accidents and leads into people dying. I mean, other factors with driving fast. I drive fast and I'm not a hypocrite. I do not pull people over for speeding. But you have to, if you allow people to get away with stuff, it's going to be chaotic. So somebody has to control that.
It doesn't require somebody with a gun. It just doesn't.
Well, I agree. But again, if you take the power away from one person, you have to give it to something or somebody else.
That's fine. That's fine.
Are you suggesting that we have RoboCops that are out here doing the traffic stuff?
Well, you know what? So, and maybe, so I know, so I was in DC the other day, right? I was driving under a bridge, a light flashed. I'm like, okay, you know what that was. A couple months later, I got a speeding ticket in the mail, right?
There you go.
So now, I was pissed off, but, you know, when I think about it, I would rather that than, you know, I'm in a dark area, I'm from out of town, police show up, you know, they can't really see what's going on. I make a movement and they misinterpret it. But these look at all these different things. I think there are other ways that we can police speeding, and it's a bunch of shit that I believe that we can take off police's play, or armed police. Armed police, to me, should deal with, you know, serious criminal violations, criminal situations.
So,
yes, they know how something will go.
That part I agree with, right? Because think about it. There is no reason why police should be called for a dude selling CDs on the car, right?
But guess what?
Or cigarettes. Or
guess what? Hold on.
It's just what we do.
So wait, if I'm correct, you said, yes, there should be a segment of police officers that don't carry a weapon that still respond to those calls, but they're not weaponized. So you do realize that bad things happen without a weapon. It's not always a shooting. A knee on the neck is still a death without a weapon. Yes. And being choked out is still a death without a weapon. So
yes, so there is no silver bullet, so to speak. There isn't one thing that's going to solve everything. But if we put enough of these things in place, you know, the mental health counseling, all that, plus we take them out of certain situations. So we do a list of, we'll probably name 5 things during this conversation. Cumulatively, all of those things, I believe, would make a difference. And, you know, putting armed people in situations with citizens and things being misinterpreted and this and that, and you have preconceived notions of what a criminal looks like, and then boom, somebody dead. You know, so I think all of these things combined can make a difference.